Welcome to Patty's Aquatics and welcome to my fish room. So today what I want to do is kind of crack two birds with one stone. I've been wanting to give you guys an update on my tanks with the fertilization process and show you how they're coming along. But I also wanted to give you guys an update on my summer tub. So I thought, why not? Let's do both of them here in one video. I'll give you an entire fish room update of everything that's going on in my fish room and show you some of the progression. So with that, let's turn this camera around and let's get cracking. So the fish room, in my opinion, has really been doing great. The process of switching over all these tanks from that dirt to the inert substrates has really been going good, in my opinion. Adding the fertilizers, I've really been seeing a difference in my plant growth, especially the ones that were rooted that I wasn't getting growth from in my dirty tanks anymore. Sparkles is doing great in his new tank. The whole breeding process I've been doing with my rice fish and everything outside, which I'll show you in a little bit as well, has been doing great. But let's start really with the tanks. I want to show you some of the progression of them. Some of them I've really been enjoying. We can start with my rainbow shiner tank. All right, so the rainbow shiner tank's doing pretty good. The algae itself within the tank is really starting to dissipate. There's still some in there, so it's not entirely gone, but it is doing much better. I have some algae starting on the glass, which I have to scrape. I didn't notice that till this morning, but it's doing great. My Nibius is still flowering. The rainbow shiners are doing great. Like every few mornings, they are firing up in color. They're maturing. Some of those females got a little bit of bellies on them too, I can see. So I would not doubt if they are already trying to breed in here. So that's going to be my next process, really, of breeding in my fish room are going to be these guys. Like I said, when I first set this up, I put this rock pile in here for them to have an area to be able to breed on and to know where to breed. So my next step with these guys would be to put a little container down here with a false bottom with mesh over it and then rocks on top so they can maybe start to breed within them and then pull that out and see if I get any eggs. So that will be one of the next processes. But this tank, like I said, the crypts are all growing in. Everything's looking cool. The algae is really starting to dissipate in this one, and I'm really happy about that. I haven't showed this tank in quite a while. This is my 2.5 gallon tank that I got. It's a dirty tank. I set this up probably the end of last year. I have a couple coolie loaches in here that I got as a rehome, and one guppy that I have left, I think, in my entire fish room back in the corner. I've been running this one. I kept it dirt. I got a filter in here that is part of this container, part of this tank. This one's been doing pretty good. If you recall, I did a review on this tank, and this is one that kept powering off on me, the light and filter every once in a while. It still does that, but it's been doing okay. So I just want to give you a quick glance at this one. Now this tank, this is actually one of my favorite scaped ones. This is the ones with my platies in it, my varieties. I absolutely love the look of this tank, and for some reason, it just pops for me. It's something I really enjoy. The dorsage and everything is starting to finally start to run. My crypts are doing good. The shrimp and everything here, the wood, the algae in this one has completely dissipated. There really is barely any algae in this tank any longer. The fish are doing great. The shrimp are doing great. I think that one's buried. That shrimp right there, she's got a big belly on her. I'm sure she's got a bunch of babies underneath there. So they're doing great. Other tanks on this wall, I can quick show you my white clouds. This tank is still kind of, it's got algae still within the dorsage a little bit, but the shrimp are doing okay. So this one's really nothing to write home about quite yet, but I'm still enjoying it. And then this is my crebenza tank. They are hiding at the moment. I can see her under the wood. But yeah, this one is where I found fry in it. I showed that in one of my past videos. I've only been seeing one lately coming in and out. So they might have predated on them. I'm not 100% sure, but they still could be in here somewhere. There's lots of hiding places, and I did it on purpose. She could be under there sitting on eggs for all I know. But otherwise, they've been doing great. They come out when it's time to feed. I can see them both under there right now. So I just did turn the lights on a little bit ago. So that's that wall. Let's look at my other wall here. So my north wall here, my Matano rice fish is still doing great. I trimmed the plants down a little bit. I put this other spawning mop in here. I used the ones that used to be the like those cleaning pads that I had with the pool noodle, excuse me. I used this one with yarn. I made these. Now they're laying eggs on this one more than the other one, so I'm enjoying that. So I'm pulling the eggs out of there. Um, let's see. I will talk about this tank in a future video. It's when I go back and talk about tanks that I reviewed. This one kind of malfunctioned on me. This was a Higer 6-gallon aquarium kit. The whole thing powered off on me and I have no power for it anymore, but I'm still going to use it. This was a tank that had my King Yama red-orange rice fish. They're all outside in the tubs right now, but this is the one tank that I am not fertilizing at all. I'm not doing anything with it and letting it go. As you can see, even I just have fry in here from those Madakas that are breeding outside. When they hatch, I put them in this container, and for just that species. And so there isn't much bio load in here besides the snails and the shrimp at the bottom. And the plants are still doing great. The Ludwigia is growing like crazy. Even the crypts in here are still doing okay. They're not growing tremendously as you're going to see in other tanks with them, but they're still doing okay. So this is the no fertilization tank. Now we're going to pop over here by my CPD tank. Now this is the one I've shown numerous times that my crypts died and melted. Didn't die. They all melted back when I transplanted them. This is one where I'm just using root tabs. And as you can see, they are still coming about slowly but surely, but they are coming about. This is also the tank where I keep finding baby CPDs in here, and then I siphon them down into this tank here, and I probably got at least 12 of them down here of all different sizes. Some of them are getting big enough where I could probably put them back up into the main tank. But how is that working in here? I can't tell you 100% for sure, but this is my educated guess, is that the fact that I used pea gravel. Pea gravel was, I did this for a reason. I wanted to use pea gravel in a lot of my egg scattering fish tanks. Now, the reason for that is I thought I had a greater probability of fry survival by eggs being scattered and going down into the gravel where the fish can't predate on them. Now, snails could still get at it. The shrimp, they don't really eat eggs as far as I'm aware, but there's a greater chance of survival for fry, and I think that's what's going on because I always see them pop up in this corner. I'm sure that's probably because there's more flow over here, so they're trying to get out of it, and I always see them over here, and that's when I siphon them down. So that's my guess as to how I'm getting fry in here, because it isn't heavily planted or anything like that, not yet anyway, till those things grow. But so pea gravel, that is what I'm thinking is the reason why this is being successful. This is my other one. Now this is that one that I have the other Matano rice fish in, not Matano, excuse me, my Madaka rice fish, those platinum, blue platinum ones. I have majority of them outside in my tubs, but the crypts and the swords in here are growing really well, except I'm getting a lot of holes in some of the leaves here, and I'm not sure if that's from the snails or if that's from a deficiency. It's more these crypts down here and these small swords. That big one back there, I had not seen holes in them really at all. So I'm going to have to take a little deep dive into that. Those could be some of the older leaves from when I first got them as well, but we shall see. But that tank's doing great as well, although I do have the UV sterilizer in here because I kept having bouts of green water in here. I'd put it in here, I'd get rid of it, I would take it out, it'd come back. It's been a never-ending cycle, so I leave it in here and I have it run 3 hours a day for now, and I think I'm going to take it out again very soon, and we'll see if that took. But now let's take a look at my puffer and Oscar tank. So this is my puffer butthead and his tank. This one's been doing okay. What's happening right now is I'm getting a little bit of an algae outbreak, but it's not because of the fertilization or because I switched my tank over. It's because I got a brand new light from a company and it's been malfunctioning and not turning off at night. And so I've been getting some algae growth from it. I'm getting a new light from that company to replace this one to see what's going on. But that is the reason for the algae break right now. Otherwise, this tank has been doing great. These crypts are still kind of slow growing. I'm still waiting for a little bit more growth in these compared to the ones you've seen like in my CPD tank and the rice fish tank. Those have been really going strong with just the root tabs, where I'm putting root tabs under these, but I'm not getting as incredible growth, but there still is some. So we're going to have to take a look back on this one and kind of see what happens. But otherwise, this tank's been doing pretty good. Butthead seems to be a happy camper in here, and that's what really matters the most. Now, let's look at Sparkles over here. So I just showed this video. It would have been probably last week. Sparkles is doing great in here. One thing I did forget to mention in that video, because I did switch this over from dirt to the inert substrates, where I have it layered. I put his old cap at the bottom, I put a bag of pea gravel, and then I put a bag of pool filter sand. I am fertilizing this tank. I'm doing both root tabs and water fertilizer with the Easy Green and the Aquarium Co-op root tabs in here. So I am putting root tabs in for the swords and the two little crypts here. Then obviously using the liquid fertilizer for the rest of the plants that are in here. And so far I've been having pretty decent growth. I do have another runner even just started with my dorsad. So I can't wait for them to really start to go off in here, because I want this tank really to be thick with that dorsad is really my whole plan of it. I was really enjoying that look. So, and he's liking it. He's got more swimming room, but yet it's still planted, and eventually it'll be heavily planted again. So that's doing great. Now, as far as breeding, this is I've showed this in one of my past videos with the fry explosion. This is my breeding process. I will show you the outside tubs in a second, but what I do is I bring them in when I find the fry. I bring them in from this little container. I put them in here with a little bit of methane blue, and I let them sit overnight. And then when that 24-hour period is or so, I throw them into the containers. This is for my platinum rice fish, and this is for the king yamas. And then I wait in here until they hatch. And then when I find a fry, I grab a little vial that I have, which is right here. I suck them up, and then I throw them into their totes of their own species. Like I said, I put the king yamas in their original tank because all the parents are outside. And then I have a tote set up for the platinums, which I have probably, I would say, close to 200 eggs from those platinums already. They are breeding like crazy. These guys are having a little bit more of a difficult time. It's not that they're not breeding. I see eggs on them. They're just not putting them on the spotting mops, and that's my issue. So I'm hoping to see a few pop up. But with that being said, let's go outside and let me show you the summer tubs. That's what I'm really excited about right now. So this is my summer tub area. It's a little overweeded. It's been a while, and we've had some really hot weather, so some of my plants have really not liking it. My sunflowers have finally popped up. Some of these flowers look terrible, but the fern is doing awesome, I'll tell you that much. But these are the tubs. Let's start with my big 100-gallon. This one was nothing but green water, and it finally went clear all of a sudden like 2 weeks ago, and it's awesome. You can see some of the rice fish there. I think she's got eggs on her belly. I can zoom in a little bit. Hippers. I've been seeing, oh, there's that rice fish fry I've seen in here too. So they are breeding in here and surviving. That, I believe, is a rice fish fry. I have seen white cloud fry in here as well. If I see one, I will zoom in and show you. Now there's white clouds in here as well. Like I said, there was a little poll I put on my channel earlier that I asked, should I put rice fish and my white clouds in the tub at the same time? It was more people saying I should, and people wanted to know how it would work. The white clouds I had originally, and I do see a white cloud fry right now. Let's zoom in. There we go. That should be a white cloud fry. I've seen about 5 of them in here starting around. I just think that the habitat for this is actually pretty set up with all the vegetation and lots of places to hide for the fry. Then obviously I have my spawning mops in here. These will be just for the rice fish. I use these, which are the ones that I use, like the cleaning mops or pads that Brillo pads, whatever, that you cut up. Then also I made these with the yarn. I doubt there's any eggs on them right now because it's pretty early in the morning So my lilies in here have been shooting up lily pads. I haven't seen any flowers from them yet. I have this Papa Soap solar filter. It works okay. That's why I put an air stone in there as well, because when there's no sun and it's not directly shooting on that solar panel, it really doesn't work. So, which isn't really ideal, but it's okay for my setup. Let's look over here. Now this is my 21 gallon that is just specifically for my platinum blue. As you can see, it is heavily planted at the bottom now. That guppy grass and everything grew in. I do find eggs on these guys quite a bit. I have 2 spawning mops in here. I have not seen any fry swim around in here. Does not mean that there's not any in here, because it is heavily vegetated down there, but I don't know, we shall see. But this one's been doing pretty good as well. I've been pulling lots of eggs out of them. As you can see, like I said, it's early in the morning. There's probably eggs on all these gals in here. And then this is the one with my King Yama red orange Madakas in here. This is the one I've been having more difficulty with getting eggs from these guys, like I said earlier. It's not that they're not breeding. I find eggs on them quite a bit. They're just not putting them on the spawning mops. I think I've only got about 12 eggs out of this entire summer so far. So they're putting them other places within here. My hope is, because this one as well, this one's got a little more of a green water tint to it and it's more shaded. But my hope is I'm going to find some fries swimming around in here. I don't know. We shall see. But that's my summer tubs. Everything's been doing great plant-wise because it's been so stinking hot here. They had a little bit of a toll on them, but the fish are loving it. They are absolutely loving this hot weather. They're loving breeding in here. Like I said, the white clouds are doing great as well with these rice fish. And if I continue to find fry in here, this will be my setup for next year as well, because I'm really loving the rice fish. And now that the water is clear, I can actually see the white clouds swimming around too, which is very cool. So summer tub, and you got to try it if you haven't tried it. Get a bucket, put it outside, throw some plants in, and throw a fish in with an air stone, and hey, you're going to enjoy it. Trust me. Well, that was my update of the fish room. I really hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I am absolutely loving the progression of my tanks so far. How have they been coming along over the last few months since I switched them out from dirt to these inert substrates? The plant growth on them have been doing great. Really adding fertilizers again to my tanks again has been a real cool process to really witness and see again. And plus my summer tubs outside, really. I mean, that's like one of my favorite times a year, is really to be outside and do that stuff outside, see your fish breeding, pulling eggs like I've been doing, and all that stuff. It's real fun, and it's one of the many reasons why I absolutely love this hobby. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Be greatly appreciated, and I hope to see you again here next time at Patty's Aquatics.